All right, my friends. I'm going to do a little more Wonder reading because I'm getting such great feedback from you guys about Wonder. I'm lounging a little bit today. It's gorgeous outside. So, we are in Summer's point of view. We're hearing kind of what it was like for her to first meet Augie. And she just had an argument with him, kind of a back and forth, because he thought that their principal had made her hang out with him, and he didn't. Summer is just a good person who hung out with Augie. And so she had to convince Augie that no, this is not what happened. And so it was really good for Augie to hear that and realized, hey, this is a person who actually really wants to hang out with me. And yeah, that's where they were. And they were just getting started. They had some special Egyptian projects that they were working on in class. And Augie was going to go to Summer's house and work on his project. I had warned Mom about Augie's face. I had described what he would look like, or what he looked like. I did this because I know she's not always so good at faking her feelings. And August was coming over for the first time today. I even sent her a text at work to remind her about it. But I could tell from the expression on her face that when she came home after work, that I hadn't prepared her enough. She was shocked when she came through the door and saw his face for the first time. Just 1 second, friends. Good old alarm. Let's see here. While Augie called his mother, hi Augie. So let's see here. I asked quickly. Hi Mom, this is Augie. Can he stay for dinner? I asked quickly. It took a second for my question to even register. Hi Augie, she said. Of course, sweetheart. It's okay with Augie's mother. If it's okay with Augie's mother. While Augie called his mother on his cell phone, I whispered to Mom, stop making that weirded out face. She had the look like when she's watching the news and something horrific event has happened. She nodded quickly like she hadn't realized she was making a face and was really nice and normal to Augie afterwards. After a while, Augie and I got tired of working on our projects and went to hang out in the living room. Augie was looking at the pictures on the mantle and he saw a picture with me and my dad. Is that your dad? He said. Yeah. I didn't know you were, what's the word? Biracial? Right, that's the word. Yeah, she said. Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him drop you off or anything. Oh, no, I said. He was a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago. Whoa, I didn't know that. Yeah, I nodded, handing him the picture of my dad in his uniform. Wow, look at all those medals. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Wow, Summer, I'm sorry. Yeah, it sucks. I really miss him a lot. Wow, yeah. He nodded, handing me back the picture. Have you ever known anyone who died? I asked. Just my grandmother, and I don't even really remember her. That's too bad. Augie nodded. You ever wonder what happens to people when they die? I asked. He shrugged. Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my grands went. I think about it a lot, I said. I think about when people die, their souls go to heaven, but maybe just for a little while. Like that's where they see their old friends and stuff and kind of catch up on old times. But then I actually think their soul starts thinking about their lives on earth, like if they were good or bad or whatever, and then they get born again as babies in the new world. Why would they want to do that? Augie asked me. Because they get another chance to get it right, I answered. Their souls get a chance to have a do-over. He thought about what I was saying and nodded. Kind of like when you get a makeup test, he said. Right. But they don't come back looking the same, he said. I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right? Oh, yeah, I answered. Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different. I like that, he said, nodding a lot. I really like that, Summer. That means in the next life, I won't be stuck with this face. He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which made me laugh. I guess not, I shrugged. Hey, I might even be handsome, he said, smiling. That would be so awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good-looking dude and super buff and super tall. I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's the one thing I like the most about Augie. Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question? Yeah, he said, like he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. I hesitated. I've been wanting to ask him for a while, but I've always lost the guts to ask. What? He said. You want to know what's wrong with my face? Yeah, I guess if it's okay for me to ask. He shrugged, and I was relieved that he didn't seem mad or sad. Yeah, it's no big deal, he said casually. The main thing I have is this thing called mandibulofacial dysostosis, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce, by the way. But I also have this other syndrome thing that I can't even pronounce, and then these things kind of morph together into this one big super thing, which is very rare that they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered kind of a medical wonder, you know? He smiled. That was a joke. You can laugh. I smiled and shook my head. You're funny, Augie, I said. Yes, I am, he said proudly. Cool beans. Over the next month, August and I hung out a lot after school, either at his house or my house. August's parents even invited Mom and me over for dinner a couple of times. I overheard them talking about fixing Mom up on a blind date with August's Uncle Ben. On the day of the Egyptian Museum exhibit, we were all really excited and kind of giddy. It had snowed the day before, not as much as it had snowed over Thanksgiving break, but still, snow is snow. The gym was turned into a giant museum with everyone's Egyptian artifact displayed on the table with a caption card explaining what the thing was. Most of the artifacts were really great, but I have to say, I really think mine and August were the best. My sculpture of Anubis looked pretty real, and I had even gotten to use real gold paint on it. And August had made his step pyramid out of sugar cubes. It was 2 feet high and 2 feet long. And he had spray painted the cubes with this kind of fake sand paint or something. It looked awesome. We all dressed up in Egyptian costumes. Some of the kids were Indiana Jones type archaeologists. Some of them were dressed like pharaohs. August and I dressed up like mummies. Our faces were covered except for 2 little holes for the eyes and 1 little hole for the mouth. When our parents showed up, they all lined up in the hallway in front of the gym. Then we were told we could go get our parents, and each kid got to take his or her parent on a flashlight tour through the dark gym. August and I took our moms around together. We stopped at each exhibit explaining what it was, talking in whispers and answering questions. We used our flashlights to illuminate the artifacts while we were talking. Sometimes, for dramatic effect, we would hold the flashlight under our chins while we were explaining something in detail. It was so fun. Hearing all these whispers in the dark, seeing all the lights zigzagging around the room. At one point, I went to get a drink at the water fountain. I had to take my mummy wrap off my face. Hey, Summer, said Jack, who came over to talk to me. Cool costume. Thanks. Is the other mummy August? Yeah. Hey, do you know why August is mad at me? Uh-huh, I nodded. Can you tell me? Nope. He nodded. He seemed really bummed. I told him I wouldn't tell you, I explained. It's so weird, he said. I have no idea why he's mad at me all of a sudden. None. Can you at least give me a hint? I looked over to where August was across the room, talking to our moms. I wasn't about to break my solid oath that I wouldn't tell anyone about what he overheard at Halloween, but I did feel kind of bad for Jack. Bleeding scream, I whispered in his ear, and then I just walked away. So we're going to move on to another perspective. This is part 4. This is Jack's perspective. Here is his quote. Now here is my secret. It is very simple. It is only with one's heart that one can see clearly. What is essential is indivisible to the eye. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince. So now we're going to see or hear what this is like for Jack. So in August, the month that is, my parents got a call from Mr. Tushman, the middle school director. My mom said, maybe he calls all the new students to welcome him. And my dad said, that's a lot of kids to be calling. So my mom called him back, and I could hear her talking to Mr. Tushman on the phone. This is exactly what she said. Oh, hi, Mr. Tushman. This is Amanda Will returning your call. Oh, thank you. That was so nice of you to say. He is looking forward to it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, sure. Uh-huh. Well, that's very nice of you to say. Sure. Oh, I see. Of course. I'm sure he will. Let me write it down. Got it. I'll call you after I've had a chance to talk to him. Okay? No, thank you for thinking of him. Bye-bye now. And when she hung up, I was like, what's up? What did he say? And Mom said, well, it's actually very flattering, but kind of sad too. There's this boy who's starting middle school this year, and he's never been in a real school environment because he was homeschooled. So Mr. Tushman talked to some of the lower school teachers to find out who they thought were some of the really, really great kids coming into the 5th grade. And the teachers must have told him you were an especially nice kid, which I already knew, of course. And so Mr. Tushman is wondering if he could count on you to sort of shepherd this new boy around a bit. Like, let him hang out with me, I said. Exactly, said Mom. He called it being a welcome buddy. But why me? I told you, your teachers told Mr. Tushman that you were the kind who's known for being a good egg. I mean, I'm so proud that they think so highly of you. Why is it sad? What do you mean? You said it's flattering, but kind of sad, too. Oh, Mom nodded. Well, apparently this boy has some sort of, I guess there's something wrong with his face or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he was in an accident. Mr. Tushman said he'd explain a bit more when you came to school next week. School doesn't start until September, I said. He wants to meet this kid before school starts. Do I have to? Mom looked a bit surprised. Well, no, of course not, but it would be the nice thing to do, Jack. If I don't have to, I said, I don't want to do it. Can you at least think about it? I'm thinking about it and I don't want to. Well, I'm not going to force you, she said, but at least think about it some more, okay? I'm not calling Mr. Tushman back until tomorrow, so just sit with it a bit. I mean, Jack, I really don't think it's that much to ask of you to spend a little extra time with a new kid. It's not just that he's a new kid, Mom, I answered. He's deformed. That's a terrible thing to say, Jack. He is, Mom. You don't even know who it is. Yeah, I do, I said, because I knew the second she started talking about him that it had to be this kid named August. I remember seeing him for the first time in front of the Carvel on Amesfort Avenue when I was about 5 or 6. Me and Veronica, my babysitter, were sitting on the bench outside the store with Jamie, my baby brother, who was sitting in the stroller facing us. I guess I was busy eating my ice cream cone because I didn't even notice that the people came and sat down next to us. Then at one point I turned to suck the ice cream out of the bottom of my cone, and that's when I saw him, August. He was sitting right next to me. I know it wasn't cool, but I kind of went, ugh, when I saw him because I honestly got scared. I thought he was wearing some sort of mask or something. It was a kind of, you say when you're watching a scary movie and the bad guy like jumps out of the bushes. Anyway, I know it wasn't nice of me to do that, and though the kid didn't hear me, I know his sister did. Jack, we have to go, said Veronica. She had gotten up and was turning the stroller around because Jamie, who had obviously just noticed the kid, was about to say something embarrassing. So I jumped up kind of suddenly like a bee had landed on me and followed Veronica as she zoomed away. I could hear the kid's mom softly behind us. Okay, guys, I think it's time to go. And I turned around to look at them once more. The kid was licking his ice cream cone, the mom was picking up his scooter, and the sister was glaring at me like she wanted to kill me. I looked away quickly. Veronica, what's wrong with that kid? I whispered. Hush, boy, she said in her angry voice. I love Veronica, but when she got mad, she got mad. Meanwhile, Jamie was practically spilling out of his stroller trying to get another look as Veronica pushed him away. But Veronica, said Jamie, you boys were very naughty, said Veronica, staring like that. I didn't mean to, I said. Veronica, said Jamie. Us leaving like that, Veronica muttered. Oh, Lord, that poor lady. I tell you, boys, every day we should thank the Lord for blessings. You hear me? Vonica! What is it, Jamie? Is it Halloween? No, Jamie, it's not Halloween. Then why was that boy wearing a mask? Veronica didn't answer. He wasn't wearing a mask, I explained to Jamie. Hush, Jack, said Veronica. Why are you so mad, Veronica? I couldn't help asking. I thought this would make her angrier, but actually she shook her head. It's bad how we did that, just getting up like that. We'd just seen the devil or something. I was scared for what Jamie was going to say, you know? I didn't want him to say anything that would hurt that little boy's feelings, but it was very bad of us leaving like that. The mama knew we were going to. But we didn't mean to, I answered. Jack, sometimes you don't have to be mean to hurt someone. You don't have to mean to hurt someone to hurt someone. Do you understand? That was the first time I ever saw August in the neighborhood, at least that I remember. But I've seen him around ever since then, a couple times on the playground, a few times in the park. He used to wear an astronaut helmet of sometimes, but I always knew it was him under the helmet. All the kids in the neighborhood knew it was him. Everyone has seen August at some point or another. We all know his name, though. He doesn't know ours. And whenever I see him, I try to remember what Veronica said. But it's hard. It's hard not to sneak a second look. It's hard to act normal when you see him. Who else did Mr. Tushman call? I asked Mom later that night. Did he tell you? He mentioned Julian and Charlotte. Julian, I said. Ugh, why Julian? You used to be friends with Julian. Mom, that was in kindergarten. Julian's the biggest phony there is, and he's trying so hard to be popular all the time. Well, at least Julian agreed to help this kid out. Gotta give him credit for that. I didn't say anything because she was right. What about Charlotte, I asked. Is she doing it too? Yes, Mom said. Of course she is. Charlotte's such a goody two-shoes, I answered. Boy, Jack said, Mom, you seem to have a problem with everybody these days. It's just Mom, you have no idea what this kid looks like. I can imagine. No, you can't. You've never seen him. I have. It might not even be who you think it is. Trust me, it is. And I'm telling you, it's really bad. He's deformed, Mom. His eyes are down here, and I pointed to my cheeks, and he has no ears, and his mouth is Jamie had walked in the kitchen to get a juice box from the fridge. Ask Jamie, right, Jamie? Remember that kid we saw in the park after school last year? The kid named August? The one with the face? Oh, that kid, said Jamie, his eyes opening wide. He gave me a nightmare. Remember, Mom, that night about the zombies from last year? I thought that was from watching a scary movie, said Mom. No, said Jamie, it was from seeing that kid. When I saw him, I was and I ran away. Wait a minute, said Mom, getting serious. Did you do that in front of him? I couldn't help it, said Jamie, kind of whining. Of course you could help it, Mom scolded. Guys, I have to tell you, I'm really disappointed by what I'm hearing here. And she looked like she sounded. I mean, honestly, he's just a little boy, just like you. Can you imagine how he felt to see you running away, Jamie, screaming? It wasn't a scream, Mom, argued Jamie. It was like an ah. And he put his hands on his cheeks and started running around the kitchen. Come on, Jamie, said Mom angrily. I honestly thought both my boys were more sympathetic than that. What's sympathetic, said Jamie, who was only going in the second grade. You know exactly what I mean, Jamie, said Mom. It's just, he's so ugly, Mom, said Jamie. Hey, I don't like that word. Jamie, just get your juice box. I want to talk to Jack alone for a second. Look, Jack, said Mom, who as soon as Jamie left, and I knew she was about to give me a whole speech. Okay, I'll do it, I said, which completely shocked her. You will? Yes. So I can tell Mr. Tushman? Yes, Mom, I said yes. Mom smiled. I knew you'd rise to the occasion, kiddo. Good for you. I'm proud of you, Jackie. She messed up my hair. So here's why I changed my mind. It wasn't so I wouldn't have to hear Mom's whole lecture, and it wasn't to protect this kid from Julian, who I knew would be a jerk about the whole thing. It was because when I heard Jamie talking about how he'd run away from August going, I suddenly felt really bad. The thing is, there's always going to be kids like Julian who are jerks. But if a little kid like Jamie, who's usually a nice enough kid, can be that mean, then a kid like August doesn't stand a chance in middle school.